Anyone there? Can anyone hear me? Should be able to hear me. That's great. Hello? Anyone hear me? Check, 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 check. Check. Come on, man. Seriously? Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Hello, viewer who's viewing. It's the Redneck Preppy. How you doing? Those of you who tried to join the last stream, I apologize. It kind of went tits up. Who's viewing? It's the Redneck Preppy. How you doing? Those of you who tried to join the last stream, I apologize. It kind of went tits up. Who's viewing? It's the Redneck Preppy. How you doing? Those of you who tried to join the last stream, I apologize. It kind of went tits up. Who's viewing? It's the Redneck Preppy. How you doing? Those of you who tried to join the last stream, I apologize. It kind of went tits up. Who's viewing? It's the Redneck Preppy. How you doing? Those of you who tried to join the last stream. Check. I'll start rapping if no one's gonna talk. We got a chat function. Feel free to use it, folks. Unless you want me to just start freestyle rapping. Check, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, baby, check. Well, we at least have one other viewer here, so feel free to use the chat function. Otherwise, I'm going to end this thing pretty quickly. It's getting a little embarrassing. Oh my god, we actually have someone who's watching and typed something in. Happy Easter to you too, Mr. Worden. I hope things are going well with you. And yes, they're very quiet. I don't know where you are, but I live in the province of Ontario, and it was just locked down for the next month starting tomorrow. So it's going to be an exciting couple of weeks. Hopefully the gun range doesn't close because of that, though. That would suck. It's weird that I can't hear myself. You a new subscriber, Mr. Worden? I'll take that as a yes. Oh, rare. Sub last month, Wisconsin here. Beautiful spring days. Some ranges have closed, many stayed open. All of the ranges up here have stayed open, surprisingly. Well, we were closed actually for about March, April, May, June, 4 or 5 months last summer. And I'm not sure if it was exactly necessary, but they closed it anyway. But since then, even with the lockdowns that we've had, all the lockdowns which keep flattening the curve, they haven't actually closed the ranges. Just basically asked us to maintain some social distancing and stuff like that. So, uh, I was tempted to go to the range this morning just to see. Or sorry, go to the range tomorrow, just in case they are in fact closed on Monday, because it would kind of suck a big time. I'm extremely annoyed that I can't hear myself. Obviously, you can hear me because you're responding, but it's kind of weird that I can't. Oh, we got 3 viewers now. Oh my, this represents the greatest number of viewers ever during a live stream I've done. Of course, it's the first live stream I've ever done. Clover attack. Oh, okay. Well, that would, I guess, would explain that then, because it would be awkward, I suppose, hearing yourself. Okay, good. Thank you, Clover Attack. First of all, big props to Clover Attack. The channel featured um, the Redneck Preppy YouTube channel on its podcast a couple days ago. Yesterday, Friday, Thursday, whatever it was. I'm losing track of time. Anyway, had a lot of great things to say, a lot of good criticisms, and by criticisms I just mean like, critiques, I guess is a better way of putting it. Absolutely already made some changes on the channel based on their feedback and responses. I added a whole bunch of channels to the channel tab. We got a community tab now, so not that they had anything to do with that, but YouTube finally got off their asses and did it. So I've started to use that, change that front page trailer channel video. Yeah, so that was a lot of great suggestions, and I'm still going to go through it and make some more changes. The thing that I have the biggest problems with is the thumbnails. I understand your point that you made that they should be easily recognizable, that they're like a Redneck Preppy video. Whether it's like, standard look, logo, whatever it may be. I'm just kind of in love right now with each thumbnail being completely different for each video. You know, Probably not a great idea, though, I'll be honest with you. Obviously, because there is no branding, I guess is the best way you could put it. Oh, we're up to 5 viewers now. Awesome. Oh, and thank you, CloverTac, for sharing that over in your community tab. That is super cool of you. Thank you very much. Uh, well, I didn't say I wasn't going to talk politics. I mean, you got to do what you got to do in these live streams. I did say this thing was going to last an hour, and I killed the first 10 minutes with my stupidity, not being able to get this thing going. You know what? This is one of those rare moments where Canadians and Americans are both united by being under the gun when it comes to impending gun laws. Canadians, they got the barrel on them right now because, Trudeau's basically already announced, what it is that he wants to do for his next round of gun legislation, which I think was actually, I don't think he actually intends that law to be what it is that he passes. I think that he put this out as a trial balloon with the hopes that, there's going to be a spring election coming, and then he gets feedback on that law, and then that's when he pulls the trigger with the real version of what Bill C-21 is going to be. Americans, though, I guess could conceivably get more immediately screwed just because, Biden can do things by executive order and just ban a whole bunch of stuff like, well, ARs, AK pistols, whatever the hell it is that is the bet in a war of the moment. So, yeah, we're united. Finally, we both got liberals as leaders, and we both got anti-gun people as leaders. So, great times. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. And we have provinces in Canada which are a lot more pro-gun than the average, like out west, Alberta. They've already kind of indicated that if they're given the ability to ban, let's say, handguns, which is one of the provisions that Trudeau wants to enact, intends, or Alberta intends not to enact those sorts of bans and restrictions. In Ontario, it's a little iffy because ostensibly we elected a conservative as a premier, and I'm not entirely sure he is anymore. I think the pandemic has brought out that latent liberal in him, so it's entirely possible that we could get screwed here in Ontario where I live. But I'm glad to hear Ohio made a good step forward. That's great. Really am happy. Hopefully, though, you know, it's going to get a lot darker for us on both sides of the border, I think, before it gets better. So I guess we'll find out. Well, okay, we have different classes of firearms, Clovertac. Broadly put, and it's very simply put, there's what's called non-restricted firearms, restricted firearms, and prohibited firearms. Prohibited firearms, the only people who can possess those are ones who possess them prior to, I think it was like the early 90s. I can't remember exactly the year when a whole class of a bunch of rifles were essentially banned. Things like AK-47s, whether they're fully or semi-automatic, uh, just a wide range of firearms, and those are prohibited. You can't even take those out of range. Theoretically, under the law, you're allowed to take them to a prohibited range. The problem is that the chief firearms officers who issue licenses don't issue authorizations to transport for prohibited firearms. So clever. Then there's a thing called restricted firearms, and that's basically all handguns and any rifles with barrels under, I'm going to just say, cripes, what is it? It's under a certain, I can't remember what it is, but they're long barreled rifles. Um, Sorry, they're short barrels on rifles. Okay, those are your restricted class. And then finally you have what's called the non-restricted class, and that's shotguns, rifles, and all with barrels over, boy, what I say is something like 18 inches, something like that. Suppressors are illegal in Canada. Forget that. Shotguns are basically legal, but with the latest firearms changes brought in by Trudeau, bore size now comes into play, and some shotguns are actually being declared prohibited because, like a 12 gauge bore, could be prohibited because the choke, the end where the choke goes in, is under a certain prescribed. It's an absolute insanity. American gun laws are almost sane compared to Canadian gun laws, but not by much. All I know is that you ain't getting there are people with fully automatic firearms in Canada, but they are prohibited and they're safe queens. And there are a rapidly diminishing number of people who own those firearms, uh, simply because you can't sell them except to another a possessor of a prohibited firearms license. So ironically, while assault rifles or select fire rifles in the United States are insanely expensive, here they're relatively cheap because there's no market for them. You can't sell them to anybody but another prohibited class owner. Oh, no, no, you can have a choke. Sorry. Uh, I was a little inexact with my words. Chokes are not a problem at all, but if you can remove the choke and that end is under a certain diameter, and I apologize, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, that shotgun becomes prohibited. I own a shotgun that takes um, chokes, but the end is slightly wider than the prohibited minimum, so I'm legal with that shotgun. Sorry, I wasn't exact. Super. I'm glad to hear that. Wisconsin doesn't strike me as being particularly 2A friendly. I don't know why. Um, I guess its proximity to Minnesota and Illinois and all that stuff kind of makes me think that it's a little more liberal than it really is. But I'm happy to hear that Wisconsin has a lot of counties that are 2A sanctuaries, so that's great. We don't, because we don't have a constitutional right to bear arms in Canada, the dynamics are much different. Well, clover tack, that's the whole point of firearms laws in this country, is they're almost meant to be an ongoing, I don't want to say annoyance. It's like the next step above annoyance, but it's like the next, they're meant to just, constantly pick at, firearms owners. Every gun law, just like in the United States, but in Canada, every gun law that's passed, 99% of it attacks legal gun owners, and then they'll put one little sop in there, basically to, address crime. Like this current bill, Bill C-21, and the funding that goes along with it, something like, I think all but two provisions in this legislation attack people like me. And then like, they commit something like $250 million a year for the next 5 or 10 years, whatever, to tackle gang violence, who is responsible for the majority of gun crimes in this country in like 3 cities. And then there was another thing. Oh yeah, well, like they say that they're serious about crime, but then they reduce mandatory minimums for some gun crimes. But then they also reiterate that it's illegal to modify magazines to accept more than the 5 rounds that you're allowed for center fire rifles. It's all meant just to be a constant, aggravation to firearms owners before they finally just say, it's like they're trying to make it as difficult as possible to own a firearm while not banning them. No, you can't learn a goddamn thing from Canadians when it comes to fighting gun laws in this country. We have a healthy population of FUDs in this country. As long as they don't go after mud deer hunting rifle kind of folks, just like you guys do. And those people will vote low at the drop of a hat, no problem. Because you know what? For them, their rifle is hunting. They put 5 rounds through it a year. 4 of them are to make sure the scope is sighted in. They do not look to Canada. Okay. Apparently, I my stream stopped for a moment. Are we back now? Okay, good. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Okay. Apparently, I my stream stopped for a moment. Anyway, as I was saying, I don't think you can learn very much from Canadian gun groups. We're completely dysfunctional. And we have one that periodically blows up and just takes itself down for a couple of years. We have a new one, relatively new group right now, the CCFR, which is we doing some good work, but Canada's not a place to look at when it comes to gun rights. Okay, good. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Okay, apparently, I my stream stopped for a moment. Anyway, as I was saying, I don't think you can learn very much from Canadian gun groups. We're completely dysfunctional. And we have one that periodically blows up and just takes itself down for a couple of years. We have a new one, yeah, that's relatively new group right now, the CCFR, which So we doing some good work.
I'm
but
actually quite surprised.
Canada's
that
not a
YouTube
place to
hasn't
look at
gone
when it comes to
harder on
gun rights.
in the
Good.
gun community, gun channels, whatever, on its
Okay, I don't know what happened there.
site yet.
Okay. Apparently,
My streams stopped for.
I
a
know that
moment.
they've targeted reloading and all that stuff, but
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't
as
know.
I was
We'll see if
saying,
they
I don't
continue
think
to
you
go
can
to
learn
war.
very much
You know, they
from
could flip a switch
Canadian
tomorrow
gun
and every
groups.
gun channel disappears, no matter
Yeah,
how big
we're
they are, whether
completely
it's Forgotten
dysfunctional.
Weapons or
And we have one that periodically blows up and just takes itself down for a couple of years. We have a new one,
Yeah, that's
relatively
probably true.
new group right now, the CCFR, which is we doing some good work.
I'm
but
actually quite surprised.
Canada's
that
not a
YouTube
place to
hasn't
look at
gone
when it comes
harder
to
on
gun rights.
in the
Good.
gun community, gun channels, whatever, on its
Okay, I don't know what happened there.
site yet.
Okay. Apparently,
My streams stopped for.
I know that they've targeted reloading and all that stuff, but
Yeah,
anyway,
don't
as
know.
I was
We'll see if
saying,
they
I don't
continue
think
to
you
go
can
to
learn
war.
very much
You know, they
from
could flip a switch
Canadian
tomorrow
gun
and every
groups.
gun channel disappears, no matter
Yeah,
how big
we're
they are, whether
completely
it's
dysfunctional.
Forgotten Weapons or
And we have one that periodically blows up and just takes itself down for a couple of years. We have a new one,
Yeah, that's
relatively
probably true.
new group right now, the CCFR. No, we got 6 people in here. Feel free to talk, folks. I got nothing but time. Well, 26 minutes technically in this live stream, but that'd be up to you. If you guys want to keep talking, I can always do so. There is a delay. It kind of annoys me from when I talk to when it appears. I want to see if next time if I do this again, if I can eliminate that, because it's kind of annoying. Because I'm looking at myself on the screen right now, and my lips are moving here, but they're not moving on the screen. That kind of like drives me up a wall. Maybe it's one of those things I got to get used to live streaming. I don't know. I've never done this before. Obviously, because this thing started as a shit show, and I'm not sure if it's all that entertaining now. Anyone out there going fishing yet? At least, like still got a lot of ice on the rivers and lakes around here, but I can almost smell we can go within the next couple of weeks. An AR-15. Okay, well that's interesting. Up until May the 5th, 2020, yes, you could. It was considered a restricted firearm just because the government's scared of AR-15s. It's because they're black, of course. Um, as of after May the 15th, 2020, however, they're considered prohibited weapons. So right now, they're in kind of a weird zone where the government is pondering whether to buy them back, and it's going to be next year because they were allowed to hold them for 2 years after the prohibition. So May 5th, 2022, I'll either have to sell them sell mine anyway to the government, or they said potentially we could keep them, and they would be grandfathered, so they would just be safe queens. So I guess the technical answer to that question is yes, you can own one if you previously owned one, but you can't do anything with it. It's sitting in the gun safe right now. But you can't go out and buy one or anything. And in fact, I've heard that they're intercepting any mail shipments into the country that contain anything related to AR-15 parts, triggers, grips, whatever the hell it may be. So I guess that's a fancy way of saying no. At the moment, you can't own an AR-15, which is a shame because it really is. It was a rifle I really enjoyed shooting. Yeah. Oh well. What can you do? Keep them coming, folks. I don't care. Ask whatever the hell you want. It must be novel hearing from a Canadian gun owner. We do exist. There's actually a few million of us up here. Not quite to the same extent as you guys in the States, unfortunately. But that comes from our long British tradition of the peasants must not own the means of their own self-protection. We've had registered handguns since 1923 up here. So craziness up north. And in fact, I think I said earlier that Americans can't really learn too much from Canadians when it comes to fighting for gun rights. There is one thing: infighting. Our gun groups are excellent when it comes to fighting amongst themselves because everyone wants to be the hero and everyone wants to be the god, and then none of them get anything done. So try and get all your gun groups on one page, you know, because infighting will kill you every single time, and that's the one thing that I've learned up here is that you honestly you can't get anything done in this country because you got fuds who go with the it's my hunting rifle thing, and are going to learn pretty soon that those are now sniper rifles according to the people in the government, right? Um, and then you got the tactical crowd. We need to make common cause. So that's the one thing you can learn from the Canadian gun rights scene is don't make the mistakes that we do. But you are making those mistakes though, right? Oh, well, that's wonderful. It seems like the stream is healthy now because my streaming software is that I have an excellent connection. So I do have some news, I suppose. If since you're here, you'll find out before anyone else that there is a video coming tomorrow It's about the sexy and exciting topic of stuck case removal and how to do it easily. It's not a very long video, but it'll be coming tomorrow, I think 10 a.m., but I'm not sure. And then on Tuesday, there's another video coming out, which is spawned from the monocular video, the comment that I made in there. So that video is done already as well, and it's going to be out on Tuesday. I was actually going to film a video today, but unfortunately, the other two things that I ordered from wish.com don't work, which I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. Um, that kind of sucks because I was all ready to do one, and then all of a sudden the other and it wasn't working. So I switched to the other one, started doing a video for that. It wasn't working. It's like I was so annoyed. Spring turkey season. Well, that explains why on my Twitter feed somebody said that they were patiently waiting for turkeys to come around. And because our turkey season is in the fall. We don't have a spring turkey season, at least not yet. Uh, so super, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. At least you got something to hunt. We don't really have anything hunting wise until September. That's usually when our hunting kind of really kicks into gear with bear. There was a spring bear hunt. Is there one anymore? I can't remember now. I think they were going to try and bring it back. But other than the spring bear hunt, everything is mostly fall up here. Small game, large game, whatever it may be. So that kind of blows. But anyway, good luck if you go turkey hunting. And ice fishing ended April 1. I'm not even sure we really had much of an ice fishing season. Our winter was so mild this year, which is not something that you usually say for Northern Ontario. That I didn't even go ice fishing once this year, which was absolutely crazy. All the way up until like December, end of December, early January, the temperatures were so high I did not trust the ice on the lakes, so I didn't even bother. And then by the time it got cold enough, I just said, to hell with it. I don't care. The moment is past. So I didn't do any ice fishing, which is weird because I got a mess of ice fishing gear behind me. That really annoys me. Yeah. Add a delay. Done. And yet for some reason I've got a delay. Other than that, I gotta wait till May. Because, well, no, that's not true. In theory, as soon as the ice is off, I can go pike fishing in the various rivers that I have around me, and I'll probably do that. Bass doesn't open, depending on where it doesn't open until near the end of June. So that's a long endurance, or time to endure anyway. Although there are places relatively close to me where the season is full year. You just got to make sure where you are, otherwise hefty fines. Depending on what side of a road you're on, bass is either an invasive species or a non-invasive species. Government. Well, we've had three people ask questions. I suppose that's three more than I really expected. I think next time I'll give adequate notice of this, because I don't think I actually mentioned the possibility of doing a stream until yesterday afternoon, I think, and then I didn't really make the decision or the announcement until this afternoon that we were going to do live stream. So maybe I'll do one like once every month or something like that because I'm aware of my welcome. And it's not like I'm that interesting of a person. And then that way I give people adequate notice if they're interested in even attending. Wow, yeah, you see, that's weird because um, YouTube is reporting an excellent connection. The stream health is healthy. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, stream is healthy, 829. Yeah, I don't know. I will admit to being a complete noob when it comes to this whole live stream thing. So consider this kind of like a test run. How about that? Yeah, a live and learn kind of thing. Lips not coordinating with audio though. A lot of women accused me of that. Have accused me of that too. Yeah, I don't know why. Again, according to the software I'm using, everything should be good. Hello? Yeah, yeah, see. Oh, well. Could be that I just have a, oh, shit. Did I just kill the live stream? Okay, I think I might have accidentally killed the live stream. No? Oh, you know what I think I might have done is I had my, the sound on my monitor. I might have maybe fed back through, and that's why it kind of like screwed things up. That's why my lips weren't coordinating with the audio. Maybe. Well, this hasn't been a complete nightmare, so I suppose there is that. I have a feeling I should shave this beard off soon. It's going to get pretty warm. I can't imagine this thing is going to be of much assistance to me. I hope everyone had good plans for this weekend. I did. I was supposed to go on my first Jeep ride this weekend. It was just going to be a light trail. I mean, to even you could probably do it in a freaking Camry, let alone a Jeep, but it ended up not happening because a lot of people were working this weekend, which kind of sucked. So basically, the only thing I've done is go shooting yesterday. If you follow my Facebook page, and if you don't, you should. That's where I do a lot of my in the field reports about what I do, you know, whether it's hunting, shooting, fishing, whatever it may be. We have a fall and spring turkey season. Open up wolf this year when Trump took him off endangered. Oh yeah, I remember that. Stopped hunt in 3 days. Yeah, I can, yeah. Wow, 201 week. That's not a lot. If it's not endangered, why only 200? Um, we're kind of facing the same situation with moose up here. Actually, it's getting very, very difficult to get a moose tag. And that's a lot of it has to do, I think, with the mismanagement that the province has done when it comes to wildlife like that. Wolves. I can't remember if I think we're allowed to hunt wolves up here, but you have to get some kind of different license. Um, our Ministry of Natural Resources has really mismanaged uh, the situation up here where, you know, they canceled the spring, well, the government canceled the spring bear hunt about 20 years ago, and that completely screwed everything up with, you know, exploding populations of black bears. And, you know, they were in my driveway half the time. You know, that's how many bears we were getting. So that's why they kind of brought back that hunt. But now we're getting coyotes in the middle of the city and all that stuff. It's crazy. Do you have your own property to shoot on, or do you have to go to a public range? We don't have public ranges here in Canada. Um, we have what's called Crown land, which I guess would be the equivalent of what you guys have as BLM land. Black Lives Matter or Bureau of Land Management. I meant Bureau of Land Management, whatever that organization is called, the BLM. We have Crown land, which is basically government land, and you can go shoot there. But I actually go to a range, private club, about 15 minutes away from where I live, and I go shooting there. Gun laws in Canada are structured that if you want to shoot your restricted firearms, which previously included ARs, but continue to be most pistols and a lot of rifles and that stuff. You have to do it at a range, an approved government range. That it may be a private entity, but you have to shoot there. You can't shoot on public land. Never could with an AR, at least not since the 90s. I wish I had my own property to shoot on, believe me, because that would be sweet. Absolutely sweet. I have some friends who have their own property that they shoot on, and I am very envious of them. They basically have to step outside the back of their porch and shoot at the targets that they have. My lips are about 4 seconds behind the audio. Well, could be worse, I guess. That does suck, though. I'll have to figure out. I initially had planned on using the web streaming software that's built into YouTube, but it kind of like it didn't work out so good. That's why that first stream was aborted after about 3 minutes because I couldn't get an image for some reason. Although this afternoon, of course, it worked fine. And then I switched to OBS, which I set up as a just in case. And thank God, because that's the only reason that this thing actually went off that it did. But maybe there's a problem with OBS, or maybe I have a really crappy computer. I didn't think I did, but apparently I do, which is causing synchronization issues. Yeah, see, judging by the stats that I'm seeing in OBS, 10% CPU utilization. So I should be okay. No, I don't know why. One day I hope to have enough money to have enough property to go shooting on my own and never have to worry about anybody else again. But those days are long off, unfortunately. Besides, there's too many guns to buy. If I buy the property, I can't buy the guns. I don't know how to square that circle. Maybe I'll win the lottery. Oh, we got about 6 minutes left in this. Well, in case I forget later, thank you to all. Oh, keep the beard helps keep mosquitoes off face. Well, you know what? That's actually going to be a consideration very soon. I find whenever I go shooting in April, May, at my range, or even if I go fishing or whatever, it's a freaking nightmare up here in northern Ontario. And I'm sure it's the same in Wisconsin. There's nothing different about Wisconsin and Ontario. I've been to Wisconsin, by the way, so I mean, like, I know what it's like there. And yeah, our mosquitoes aren't, well, they're not mosquitoes, they're like an air force, their own air force. So maybe I will keep the beard. Problem is, it makes me look old. Because if you look at videos from just a couple months ago when I didn't have this, I actually looked younger. I look very old. I think my sister said last week when she saw me after like 2 weeks, she was like, do you ever want to get laid again? I was like, first of all, I'm not entirely sure that's appropriate coming from my sister, and second of all, I don't know. With COVID, are there even possibilities of that happening for me? Oh, Lord. Yeah, at any rate, like I was. Okay, went it down again. Like, Jesus H. Christ. Anyway, as I was saying, thank you very much to all of you who showed up. I realized it was kind of like the last minute thing, and the first attempt at it about an hour ago turned into a complete cluster bleep. So thank you for those of you who stuck around for the second attempt at it. It's quite kind of you. And thanks to all of you who have subscribed to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. We basically doubled the number of subs in 1 week, which is insanity. You know, I didn't think I was ever going to even do like 500 subs, let alone 1,000. So that's like totally cool. So thank you very much to all of you. We can shoot coyotes here in Wisconsin 24/7, 365. Nice. Very nice. We have a season for coyotes too. I'll be damned if I know what it is. I'm sure it's, you know, September to like December, which is what it is for a lot of the species up here. You get a lot of tree huggers up here who are completely opposed to hunting things like bears and wolves and coyotes and all that stuff. And then you get, you know, those clowns have them in their front yard. And then all of a sudden they're calling, oh, screaming for help, you know. Well, they wouldn't be in your front yard if we had a hunt. So, tough luck, kid. And then they get upset. Like, I think it was not last year, but the year before. People in Toronto, which is, I'm sure you've heard of it, it's the biggest city in Canada, are super opposed to the bear hunt. You know, they live in Toronto. The biggest animal they see there is, you know, a politician. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, um, there was a bear that spotted on their street once, and it was like basically following kids, you know, and the police shot it because they were concerned that, you know, it was going to start attacking the children and all that stuff. And you know, the Pinkos, they got upset. I'm not entirely sure what the hell that had to do with shooting coyotes 24/7, 365, but I went off on a tangent. How about that? But anyway, good for you. I'm glad you can shoot those coyotes. I guess that's yeah. I guess that makes sense because I hear that coyote shooting and hog shooting and all that stuff is big in the United States. That's why a lot of people have ARs so they can hunt, you know, those two species with them. So that's cool. Maybe I'll go to Wisconsin one day and I'll go hunting. You can take me out. We'll go coyote hunting. I'll have to borrow your AR though, because I'm not allowed to even touch mine, let alone look at it. Oh my God, we got one last minute left. Now we got three viewers according to this. That's cool. Average watch time 2 minutes. I don't blame them. I'm not all that interesting. Next time I'll have a list of topics to talk about. Well, alright, I guess it's time to wrap this up. I'm gonna go watch a movie. I think I'm gonna go watch The Man Who Would Be King, starring Sean Connery and Michael Caine. I've had that Blu-ray for a while and I want to watch it tonight. Thank you very much for all of you who came. I hope you have a superb rest of the weekend. Thanks for, you know, watching the videos on the YouTube channel, and you know, feel free to check out the other social media I have. There'll be links on the channel. Have a great day. Take care, folks. Bye bye.